iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We've traveled the world over this season with the Precision Racing League. Tonight, we make one final stop overseas before heading back to North America. David Holland wouldn't mind wrapping his championship up tonight, but competition for the title still looms not too far off in the distance. Can the gap be managed? Can the title be won? We don't know, but we sure will in just over an hour. Coming at you live for round 9 of the Precision Racing League Formula 3 series here on the Global Sim Racing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. In the booth with me this evening. Hey, look over there. That's my little brother, John.
Hey guys.
He's a good guy.
Oh, look at me. He's good.
And over there in the big chair, it's the man, Joe Peak, twisting and tweaking the dials for us. And of course, the genius behind our cameras, well, that's the great Dougie Beard. And well, we've got a guy named Ram Ambrosi from down under giving us a little hand tonight from the pits. He'll be on here at some point. But John, evening, Governor. Welcome to Brands Hatch. I know you've been busy behind the scenes, maybe getting a little intel on tonight's combo here in the UK. Maybe even shared a thing or two with David Holland. I don't know. But why don't you take this opportunity to fill us all in on this grand old circuit here in England?
Names like Hunt, Fittipaldi, Moss. Those names are legendary here back in the day when Formula One used to run. Obviously, they haven't run here in quite some time. This track, Sean and Ram, is extremely tight. It is so narrow. You know, it's unexpected to see what's going to happen here with these cars as I'm watching cars spin out here in practice. Great temperatures for this 9-turn facility, 2.3 miles, 3.7 kilometers. This race is going to be 45 minutes. With this track temperature, it's kind of starting to rise here, guys. 94 degrees. It could get slick out there. It'd be interesting to see where the passing is going to happen. But let's get a good look at this track from inside the Renault car here on our lap guide.
All right, we've got Amjad Yammer to the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Brands Hatch.
Coming up to Paddock Hill Bend, the track is going to drop away, and hitting the apex will be difficult. There's little time to recover if you botch it, because up next is Druids with its steep uphill braking. This can sometimes be a good spot to pass, but it's tough. Try to square off the exit of the turn, and then swing it right for the correct line in a Graham Hill Bend. There's lots of runoff to the outside that's considered fair game, so use it up if you want good lap times. Continue holding right and line up your brake marker for Surtees, because this is one of the most important turns on the track. It's extra tricky with its curved braking zone and late apex. And just to hit you with more difficulty, the exit is all uphill, meaning anyone late to the power will pay dearly across Pilgrim's Drop. Speaking of which, this is about the longest breather you're going to get around this short lap. Then you dive it into Hawthorne and pray that it sticks. Now that we've hit the back half of the course, we've got a series of right-handers. Westfield's kink and drop will lead you into Dingledale, which then climbs back up toward Sheen. The apex here is very blind and requires great precision to get right. You definitely don't want to deal with oversteer like Amjad has to here. From there, switch sides and then throw out the anchors for Sterling. The banking here should allow you to go faster than you'd expect. Make sure and keep it from pushing wide to the grass, then drift across the circuit to the left side. The final turn is Clark, which has a nasty hump right in the middle of it. Understeer is likely to be a problem. Then, the track is going to gently bend to the right as it guides you back to the line so that you can finish your lap around Brands Hatch.
Just love those old Formula 3 cars here at Brands Hatch and the GSRC lap guide. But race fans ready to compete against the financial markets? Supporting over 60,000 users across the globe, NinjaTrader provides award-winning trading software and brokerage services. NinjaTrader is always free to use for advanced charting, backtesting, and trade simulation. Visit ninjatrader.com to get started with a risk-free trading simulator and start tracking your performance today. And listen, when we talk about performance, and so happy it's brought to us by NinjaTrader, let's talk about this championship here for a moment, John. And David Holland sits at the top. Now, he's only got 35 points there on 39 points on Abner Acosta. But that doesn't mean he's wrapped this up yet. Anything could happen tonight. And, of course, well, anything could happen next week. So hasn't clinched it yet. It could happen tonight. We'll see. Acosta is here. Obviously sits there 39 points behind. Now, Raymond Day, Kevin Santana are both tied, and they are both here tonight. Have you seen? Yeah, Ray's here. I see him. Okay. Daniel Zayer's back there with 105 behind the leader. You see that only that 4 points separates basically getting into the third spot. So very, very close coming down here to the wire with only 2 rounds left. Now look at the team standings here real quickly here. Vantage Esports Yellow still commanding lead on top there. I don't think at this point, well, I think it's pretty safe to say they've clinched that team championship. TQ Engineering, 175 points back. They have not secured that second spot. Forward Bite Racing right there. And, of course, Andy's Racing and Vantage Esports Green both sitting there tied for 4th. So, really, again, just like the Drivers' Championship, the Team Championship pretty much rolls the same way, except for the battle at first there in the Team Championship. Third is still very much up for grabs. But, John, why don't we talk about tonight's race details for all of our new viewers or tuning in, or just generally anybody who wants to know what's going on?
Well, it's not boxing, Sean. This is round 9 of a total of 10 rounds. So this is one race after tonight's race. So we're winding down the season for these guys. 45 minutes in length. I'm pretty sure if we polled the drivers, they would really appreciate if this race was cut to maybe 6 minutes. This track is brutal. Open setups. This track, you know, we talk about open setups every week and what the advantages are, disadvantages, etc. This track, high downforce. You want high downforce. You want that car to stick and not loop. So probably everyone's going to be on the same page for that. 20 incident points. Will we see that tonight? I don't know, but I bet Vegas is taking odds on it.
Yeah, there might be a line on that. Go through the bonus points. I'm sorry.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, you startled me. Mom's calling. All right, bonus points. These drivers get an extra bonus point for sitting on the pole with the fastest lap. They also get an extra bonus point for 3 incidents or less, No one will walk away with that, unless you're starting and staying on pit road. And well, that's pretty much the race details, Sean.
Are you sure? Are we
Well,
covered?
no, I'm not. Let's talk about the iRacing Esports Network.
Okay.
Every week we go through that, Sean. Why don't you take that over, man?
So I get to do it. Okay, well, we are here on the iRacing Esports Network, and we thank you for joining us this evening here with the Precision Racing League, brought to you here by the Global Sim Racing Channel. And if you haven't subscribed to iRacing in the Esports Network currently, listen, you could do it now by hitting the button that looks very red right now and says subscribe. If you're not one, we'd love to have you on board. We'd also love you to subscribe to the Global Sim Racing Channel. We're also here on YouTube, so check us out also. But John, what I really want to talk about is this new merchandise store we've got here at GSRC. And of course, with the holidays coming up, why not, right? Buy some swag and adorn yourself or your friends and family in GSRC merchandise. You know, I want to talk about the beanie that we've got because, John, I've discovered, I picked up one of these beanies, and I have discovered that
Sean,
listen. No, here's what I discovered. Seriously, it will prevent calls from family members. In other words, you won't hear the phone ring. If certain family members call, if you like program it into the beanie, then you won't hear the call. You won't hear the phone ring or anything. As long as you
That's
guys cover
right.
it.
And tomorrow, the
holiday.
official GSRC app comes out in the App Store. It will be shaped like a beanie. It interacts with this beanie, Sean. I don't know if you knew that when you tested yours, but we had a prototype, and I just want to talk about this because it's really cool. We actually polled some people and found a special someone to try one of these beanies, and we found out in 3 hours. So it's kind of an older man. His name is Rem Ambrosi, and well, Sean, he had let's just say he had a severe receding hairline. Sean, wearing this beanie for 3 hours, it restored 100% of his hair, like he was a teenager again. And we have Rem on with us right now to talk about it. Rem, tell us about that beanie.
Well, I'll tell you, John, that beanie was so warm on my head, my hair started growing absolutely straight away. Now, I'm standing on my hair at the moment. It's about 4 feet 2 inches, and that's in 3 hours.
Okay. Well, listen, if you want a beanie, then go to gsrc.storeenvy.com. Pick yourself up a beanie, a t-shirt. We even got tote bags. You want to get one of those tote bags too. But guys, thanks for the plug there. And
don't forget to use the coupon code Chichia. And you'll add $5 to the beanie. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we've talked about the championships. We've plugged the beanie. We talked about the race details. Right now, we've got qualifying going on. There's only just under 3 minutes left. And it's David Holland, our friend from Texas right now, John, sitting on top. David, with a 113.6, has got Raymond Day just off his wing there. It looks like about 100ths behind. So, or I'm sorry, a tenth of a second behind. Acosta's right there, another maybe about 0.2 of a second. So not scattered by much here at the top. Track a little hot today, 96 degrees. What do you think is going to really be the big factor here? Is it going to be the elevation changes in this track, the off-camber turns? What do you think?
Well, I think first of all we need to talk about the start. This front straightaway is kind of at a severe banking, like 15 degrees of banking. So if these guys don't get the start right, that rear end of the car is going to swing out to the right, and we could see pile-ups before we even get going here. But turn one's going to be a concern, Sean. Obviously, you can't go through there too wide on a start. You can later on after the tires get warm. I think, talking about Hawthorne, Clark, those will probably be some good passing zones, but it's going to be tough. You're really going to have to outbrake someone.
Yeah, and you talked about turn one. Paddock Hill Bend leads off down into Druins, which is the nasty hairpin here on this circuit. And then, of course, you got to set it back up down the hill to get through that Graham Hill Bend. Really, the very opening section of this track probably presents the biggest challenge for the start of this race. And then they'll maybe get things in the line. But we've got a very, very large field here tonight and a pretty small, tight track. So you talked about the incidents during the race details. Those could be up tonight. There may be a few drivers that really, really have to pay attention to that 20 incident limit just based on the crowd we have tonight. We've got just under 30, I think, 28 drivers right now registered to run this race. And we've even actually got a couple missing, John.
Yeah, pretty much the whole TQ engineering team is not here tonight. That's Overbay and Edwards. There we go. That's his name. No, that's not his name. Anyway, the drivers from TQ engineering are missing tonight.
Yeah, they are mysteriously missing. They didn't check in with me. Well, I guess they weren't required to, but no, they, yeah, but seriously, a little surprised not to see them here this evening. I mean, they are definitely battling in that points championship there. In fact, they may actually may give up that second place spot in the points championship tonight. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but. Yeah, I want an explanation. And,
yeah.
Well, here we go. Checkered flags coming out on qualifying already. And, geez, I feel bad. I feel like we didn't even talk about it that much because we didn't. We had a beanie to plug. David Holland takes the pole, John. And got a couple of drivers here still coming around. There's Abner Acosta. And I think that's as good as it's going to get for Abner. That's a P3, so he'll be on the second row. There's Lionel Pratt. Another Texas driver. He gets better on that. Goes up to P8. Nice job.
Steven Verde.
Yeah, he picked up one more. Here comes Chris Richards. Let's see what he can get.
I'll shut up now. I'll just put my beanie on.
Not a lot of drivers left. Let's see. We go Anthony Pisano. That's good for fourth. That's a nice qualifying effort there for Pisano. Comes Anthony Edwards. He's going to park it. All right, here comes Hugo Galaz. He's not going to park it. He's going to bring it across. He is the last one, and that was a good run. A little bit better there for Hugo. Does it get him out of P13? It does not, John. And that is everybody.
Yeah, kind of a big swing here. About 2.5 seconds between first and our 25th position.
Sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't, but we've got the starting grid for you. Let's go to it now. David Holland gets another pole this season. Race number 9. Raymond Day going to start on the outside of the front row. Abner Acosta going to start in third, right next to Anthony Pisano. Kevin Santana and Nick Delp will take row 3. Then you go to row 4, we'll have Daniel Zagers right next to Lionel Duprat. Row 5, the Samurai, Takeshi Kita and Owen McLaughlin. Starting 10th and number 5, Formula 3.
In row 6, we have Steven Verde. Starting 12th, it's Lyndon Swaby O'Pegling himself. In row 7, Hugo Galaz. And starting 14th, Matthew Hall. In 15th, Tyler Gore. Starting outside of him in 16th, Brett Thurman. Kenny Rodriguez will be starting 17th tonight. Armando Edwards outside of him in 18th. Aaron Webb, 19th. And Christopher Richards coming home in 20th place.
All right, John. And then we go to row 11, and Charles Sumner is out of the pickup truck and into the Formula 3. He'll start 21st. Jay Steffi, P22 tonight. Row 12, Kyle Strykars and Daniel Barnett. Row 13, Sean Duhamel, Donald Olson. And row 14, David Blackwood. And what is Francisco Montini doing back in 28? Well, he didn't take a qualifying run, so let's see if he's on the grid. He is indeed on the grid, John, as we get ready to start this race from a dead standstill. We wait for everyone to get to the grid here at Brands Hatch. It's a beautiful day. It's 96 degrees on track. It's 68 degrees outside and partly cloudy. And we're ready to rumble. Again, this is our last European race of the season. We head back to North America next week for Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. David Holland has shown up on the pole, ready to go in his Vantage Esports machine. There we look at Abner Acosta ready to attack from the start. The engines begin to whine. The lights get ready to go up here at Brands Hatch. We await this field to get started. Timer counting down. Engines start to roar. The lights are up. And we're mean, green, and underway here at Brands Hatch in the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series. David Holland off to a great start. Armando Edwards at the back, and there's trouble at the front. Big damage at the front. Several drivers at the front of the field involved in that, and we'll continue on. David Holland, Santana escape all of that and actually break away from the field, leaving Nick Delp, Takeshi Kita, Daniel Zegers all to sort it out. Wow.
Sean, I'm speechless right now on that start. Let's get a lap in, and then we'll ask the director to go back and take a look at that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get back to it. Right now, it's Nick Delp, Takeshi Kita. Behind them, Zegers, Veraday. Big battle between them. Lyndon Swaby's in the back. They're already picking up spots, John.
I was going to say, there's a big battle going on with Swaby and Gore right now. Nicholas Delp and Santana are going at it.
Yeah, it's pick an area of the track. We'll try to stay on the closest battles right now, but coming across the start finish line to complete lap one is David Holland. He's got a clean, already opened up about 0.3 of a second on Santana.
So Sean, let's talk about it. Unfortunately, Abner Acosta, Owen McLaughlin, Raymond Day, Anthony Paisano, Lionel DePratt having an issue here.
Yeah, he just had a big issue coming off the hill. Let's look at this one here real quick.
We talked about in the start, Sean, you can't go too wide on the start of this race into one. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, look at Lionel here, comes off the hill and just loses the car. Fortunately, everybody gets by, and he does not back that car up into the barrier. So hopefully clean and green as this race stays underway. Let's go to the replay here on the start. John, you saw the most of that.
Yeah, everyone seems to get a great start here. Unfortunately, going into one, they didn't settle in, and Raymond Day, well, he was the victim of that. Let's take a look here. Oh, comes down on Acosta and just creates a bottleneck there for 4 or 5 drivers. Heavy hit there.
Yeah, and if they hadn't qualified, well, I guess that wouldn't have been that big a deal, but that's the entire field behind him. Man, what a scramble.
And by the way, guess who got the benefit of all that? Mr. Montini, who didn't qualify, who sits in 16th right now.
16th already, amazing. That brought several cars in the pits. As we go back live, John, David Holland is stepping out. Already dropped Nick Delp there by 3 seconds. I think David ready to go ahead and wrap this up tonight. He may have plans next week.
Yeah, David was the beneficiary of that incident. Delp had to slow down for the carnage that was happening in front of him. So it'd be interesting. As far as lap times, obviously David Holland is turning incredible laps at 15.4s. Delp is 15.6s. So I think you're right. I think Holland wants to hurry up and try to speed up the clock on this 45-minute race.
And of course, his rival Acosta now relished back in 21st. Oh, we got trouble on track.
Yeah.
Is that Zegers? Kita? Oh, man. Going to replay now. That's good as be. Kita and Zegers get together. Boy, I'm trying to figure out exactly what happened here. Why Zegers I guess Zayers just gets in hot, dives it in here, and realizes that's not going to work, or I don't know, and then Kita gets tipped.
Yeah, Takeshi slowed down to avoid Zegers, and well, unfortunately, he got a wing in his gearbox there.
Yeah, and Zegers is missing the whole nose piece on his F3. He's trying to drive it back from the pits here on the track as we're finishing the replay on board with the laws. He gets the action late. Got to make an evasive move. But Zegers, again, still trying to... The car is crabbing. It's missing half of it, and he's still trying to get it back. Holland rips off another fast lap.
Rem, let's go to Rem real quick. Maybe he's can see what kind of damage Zegers has down there in pit road. Rem, you got a copy? This is John in the booth. You seen anything down there on pit road?
Sorry there, John. Yeah, Zegers has got his whole front end torn right off.
Alrighty, well, we just got confirmation of that there.
All right, so let's identify a couple of really good battles here in the field right now. Tyler Gore, it's the battle for 8th right now that's really the one we should pay attention to, because here comes Kenny Rodriguez right alongside. Kenny going to take the spot from him with a really slick pass. Yeah, on the outside there of Hawthorne. Good
There's
stuff
another.
by Kenny.
There's a 3-car battle behind them that's going on.
Yeah, we can't ignore that. You've got Matt Hall and Francisco Montini up 16 spots. Jay Steffi. In fact, who's that making a move? Was that Matt Hall? No, it was Montini making another dive for a spot. Oh, and then somebody's off. Was there a car off there? It was Matt Hall. Hall had trouble. Let's get a replay of that. Hall had trouble there in Clark. We're going to pull this up now. There he is in the yellow Formula 3 car. Yellow, orange. Maybe burnt yellow.
Fuchsia.
No, it's not fuchsia. Stop. Boy, gets it out in the sand and saves it. Of course, we don't know if that resulted in under trade damage, but he did save it enough to leave him right now in 14th. With Brett Thurman hot on his tail.
Real quick, Sean, I think Delp is, well, he's challenging Holland for that fastest lap. He just turned a 1:14.824.
He did.
So about 0.2 quicker, 0.3 quicker than David Holland right now.
Where'd Nick get all that speed all of a sudden? Where'd that come from? I talked about David Holland checking out. He was 3+ seconds to the good, and now all of a sudden it's 1.8 seconds?
It's
Watch
those
out.
wheels. It's the color of those rims, man.
Are you talking about Nick's?
Yeah, it's that orange. It's that trick or treat orange color, man.
It looks salmon, John. Nothing for salmon.
No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
nothing for Sam. Sorry.
All right. Well,
Not a fish guy.
let's go. Oh, Kenny Rodriguez spins. I was just about to go back to this battle. Kenny was leading Armando Edwards and Francisco Montini, and he spins the car. Oh, no. Tragic there. Out of Druids. Poor Kenny Rodriguez just finds all kinds of trouble, John.
He finally gets it back on track. He had to sit there and wait for about 5-6 cars to go by. Puts him in a deficit, a severe. Actually, he's back where he started, 17th position.
Wow. And
Look on that replay. He just got that left rear, just barely kissed that. Is it St. Augustine here, or is it Fescue?
John. Fescue.
Fescue. Okay. Oh, we have another car off. Delp. No, not Delp. Sorry. Who was that?
Aaron Webb. I think it was. Yeah, it is Aaron Webb. Aaron Webb with a hard shunt, actually. We got action going on the track. We'll get back to it, but Webb with a big trouble here on the replay. There's Webb on the inside. That's the blue and white. Formula 3 gets out to the barrier. Was that Matt Hall? Was that Matt Hall?
Yeah, it was Hall. Yep.
And you know what? And Lyndon Swaby's had a problem too, John. He's in the pit. Something happened to Lyndon.
Oh, there's
Craziness.
events. Events going on everywhere.
And you know what? Nick Delp is still closing the gap on Holland. It's under a second. You don't think David's used up his stuff already, do you?
No, I think it's just the opposite. I think he's letting Delp use up his stuff.
Okay.
Last week, Holland was sipping the, was it NyQuil, Sean? DayQuil? NyQuil?
The NyQuil, I believe, yes.
Yeah. So we hear he's weaned off of that.
Okay.
We can get confirmation from our pit reporter, Rem, later on. But, rumors are that he is clean. Well,
He's going to take advantage of a little mistake from Nick Delp, who's now dropped back to 1.2 seconds. And then you got to go all the way back to Kevin Santana, who's 3.5 seconds behind Nick Delp. So the top three have spread out just a bit. Stephen Faraday still very much in the picture back here in P4. And it's a long way back to Hugo Glaz, who sits about 13 seconds back from our leader, David Holland.
You mentioned Swaby earlier. I'm not seeing him on track.
No, he's still in the pits for almost 2 minutes now. So something happened on track. In fact, he's rolling now. Swaby's, or maybe not. Okay, no, he has left. He's out of the car, John. Well, interesting development there from the Vantage Esports driver. His teammate David Holland continues to roll on. Nick Delp finds the rear wing though again of Nick Delp. I mean of David Holland.
Yeah, he's closing the gap, and now he has the sniff of the draft, Sean. And going down this long downhill here, he can actually make up some ground.
You know what? I think we've got to go to Montini here. He just picked up another spot getting around Christopher Richards, John. 21 spots already. He just turned the fastest lap of the race, a 1:14.8. Montini's on a tear through the field now. He still has 20 seconds to catch up here. Wow. And Acosta just goes purple there at the top of your screen. So Abner back there trying to recover from his early trouble. Apparently the car not hurt too bad. All right, let's look at the battle here. Tyler Gore, Kyle Strikars. Gore just clatters the curb there on the right. Got to be easy on these F3s.
Yeah, the runoff here, Sean, is not as much as other tracks that we go to. So these guys kind of have to keep it in between the white lines, which may be difficult, as we're seeing for some.
Strikar's in that draft, but just don't know if he's going to be able to pick up enough down here on the hill to make a move into Druids. Not close enough. Gore hard on the brakes through there. Boy, that really lets Strikars close in.
Just a little over 30 minutes left, Sean. We haven't talked about strategy and what these guys may do here on pit road. As we see Delp, man, he is just sucking it up to the back of Holland right now as they come around the final corner here.
That's not the only place that's happening. Montini's doing the same thing to Richards in another part of the track right now, John.
Yeah,
but
Gore
Holland
and Strikars there in 10th and 11th. They're going at it good.
You know, I don't want to accuse David of being a bit inconsistent here early, but has he been a little inconsistent here early, John?
Well, if you don't want to say it, I don't want to say it.
I mean, well, Nick is Nick continues to show speed and pace here, and almost
let's
what
look
looks
at
like
look at the comparison there on screen, Sean. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we're looking at almost 4/10 of a difference there on lap 9.
I mean, it's either that or David's just playing with him, and I don't think he's playing with him. I honestly think that either he's not happy with the car or Nick's just really dialed in here at Brands Hatch tonight. And certainly I don't want to take any credit away from him because he's driving the wheels off of it right now. The ugly salmon wheels.
Okay, now you're saying they're ugly. You know what, Nicholas? Wherever you finish tonight, you get the hard charging award, and which is a brand new GSRC beanie. Compliments of Sean.
Oh, thanks. Okay, we're not taking that out of your check. Wonderful. All right, let's go back. Yeah, let's go back and check on Chris Richards and Francisco Montini because Montini's there. He's caught him now. And Francisco ready to pick up another spot. Now, listen, we're giving a lot of credit to Montini for picking up 21 spots. Let's not forget Chris Richards started this race in P20. So he's picked up a lot of spots, too. He's not going to just give this up here to Montini. Montini charging hard there, coming up the hill.
Yeah, and he's covering that mirror. Let's see how he gets the exit here going down the downhill run. Will he make a dive to the inside going into that corner?
Hey, Francisco being patient here. But again, Richards has been fast, man. It's not like he's turning in slow laps.
Okay, I've got to call an oxymoron on that. Montini is never patient.
Well, yeah. No, you're right about that. We've probably seen an incident or two that involved maybe a little impatience from Francisco Montini, but right now, he ain't passed him yet. But we'll see. Here we come to the top of the hill. Francisco looks to the inside, and he's going to take it. He almost made that look a little easy, John. It's a nice run into Paddock Hill. Let's take a replay of that. Let's take another look at it. It was so good, we want to see it again. On board with Francisco Montini. Going to see him shoot to the inside here. Up the, not so straight away, up the hill. Paddock Hill, and he's going to shoot the gap on the inside.
Yeah, I don't know if that was maybe a lift and just said, hey, you know what? You try to get us closer to the front.
Yeah, it might have been a little strategy by Richards to let him pass and maybe Richards grab on. But Richards hasn't done that. Montini's already gapped him by just over a second. In fact, Montini getting through was that lap traffic there. Who was that he got by? That was Owen McLaughlin, who now, of course, Chris Richards coming up on and getting by. Owen gets out of the way. We'll look at this replay here for Barnett, John. Seeing the replay now, it looks like it was a single car incident there. He's going to do a little bunny hop through the grass.
Interesting place to do that. Maybe just forgot there was a corner up ahead.
Well, he found himself out on the short circuit there. Had to come back to the main circuit. And, of course, with that hop he took to the infield, might have suffered some serious damage to the under tray of that car. That'll relegate him to 16th. It's still 8 spots he's picked up. He started 24th tonight, so keep slugging away, Daniel.
Meanwhile, out front, Sean, it's Holland and Delp still, but it looks like Holland said, you know what? HE double hockey sticks, I got to go. And maybe turned up the wick a little bit.
I think you're right. Santana being chased by Veraday. John, there's a 3-way battle back for P11. Thurman, Ty Gore, Charles Sumner, and I'm sorry, but
He's coming into pit lane now. I don't know if he maybe spun and got damaged. Gets that bump.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the only saving grace to that is it happened right there close to pit lane, so he didn't get a tow. Maybe they can get it.
Now, the two battles up front are still close, but that battle we were talking about, just as that happened, Ty Gore, Charles Sumner, being led by Brett Thurman, that started to split up just a bit. In fact, Thurman's been able to pull away. Oh, I'm sorry, we got to go back to the front. Holland close to losing this here to Delp.
The slipstream, will he go inside? He thinks about it. Just continues to follow David here.
And of course, lap car, not a factor. Got out of the way.
You know, this is the part where if you get too close, it affects your driving style, but it doesn't seem to be affecting Delp at all. In fact, he seems to be up for this challenge.
I was about to say he seems to be driving better, right? I mean, he's just basically following David's line and really on it.
Well, you know, if you're going to follow a driver, David Holland's the one to follow.
Yeah,
so,
not a bad one. Yeah,
not a bad one to have there.
Looks like Santana going to be the first of our pit stops here from the front, John. Santana comes in by himself with 23 minutes to go.
Will he take tires? Yes, it looks like he is taking tires.
He also got his front wing replaced, John, so there was some damage up there. Temperature on the track's gone up to 100 degrees. I don't expect to see any trouble there with the fresh tires, as these tires do have warmers, so he should be ready to go.
Now, this will play, you know, this is where poker comes into play here. You kind of, with Holland and Delp here fighting for first and second, if one takes tires, that can either catapult the other driver or put the other one behind. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two do when they do pit. We have, what, 22 minutes left here.
So what you're saying is we may see someone's poker face here tonight?
Yes.
Hope we don't have to pay a royalty for that.
Texas Hold'em style.
Oh, jeez. I know our friend Amjad Yaman would probably have an opinion on that. All right, let's kind of give you an update. Now, we were talking a lot about Montini's progress. It hasn't stopped. I mean, he got by Galaz. He's up to P4 now, John. Of course, with Santana getting that, coming in from the lead. But the truth is, I mean, he's got a gap on Santana of about 30 seconds. So, honestly, with the speed he's had, quite possibly when he goes in for his pit stop, he may come back out in front of Santana. So we'll see. This is not a miserable pit lane to get in or off of. The exit a little tricky. It does come right out into the racing line there at the top of the hill. But not long pit stops here. The delta about just north of 25 seconds.
Speaking of which, it'd be interesting to see Santana this time as he comes across the start-finish line, what those tires are actually yielding him as far as lap time.
And Nick Delp, John, I'm sorry, Nick decided to come in and Holland stayed out.
And Delp is taking tires.
So that's the play this week here at Brands Hatch. Now, did he take all four? Oh, okay. He did. Okay.
He took 3.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Remember Santana? Well, Santana's and Montini's in. Santana had that wing replaced, so that's why his stop would have been a little bit longer. Montini's in, and he's away already. Wow, that's a really quick stop by Francisco Montini. That's going to get him out in front of Abner Acosta, who's already pit.
Now, David's got to come in this time. If not, he's going to lose time to Delp, who did take tires.
Well,
And he
And
does.
he's listening to you, John. Are you tapped in?
No, no,
When
no,
crew
I'm not
chief's out
tapped in.
there?
And
Okay.
those who are listening, unfortunately, Rem had to go away. He ate too much food there in the concession stand, and
It wasn't a
Apologies, he may
malfunction
have-
with the the beanie, I hope. I hope everything's okay with the poor guy. All right. Well, Stephen Faraday has come in to the pit. John, he's in his stall and he's away, and he's going to come right out into traffic. Watch out.
boy,
He's
Holland
got
with
Santana
a,
right behind him, and that was Galaz that was going by just as he was getting out of the racing line.
Yeah, I was going to say Holland had a 2-second faster stop than Delp did, so that's going to give him a little bit of some breathing room there on the track.
Oh, and Faraday makes a mistake. That allows Santana to get by. Maybe Steven feel a little bit of pressure there. Kevin. Santana gonna go by. You saw that Faraday just swings it out a little bit too wide, and then really has trouble focusing, getting back the car back into shape. In fact, as we come back live, he's already dropped a second and a half behind Kevin Santana.
Yeah, I think that's right there is an incident of just the tires being too cold coming out of pit lane, and obviously Santana's got about 4 laps to the good compared to Faraday.
I guess the tire warmers didn't warm him up enough, eh? Hugo Galaz goes in for his stop. That lets Santana get by and Stephen Faraday. And, well, Santana now up to P3, John. It's still a fight between Holland and Delp.
You got to remember, most of these teams are out of the U.S., so if they didn't bring their European adapters to plug in those
That's right.
tire warmers.
You know what? I didn't
then-
think about that.
Yeah.
You may even need a ground lift plug. I always said you should always carry a ground lift adapter in your bag. So if they don't have one of those, they may have trouble as well. Or if nothing, even worse, to get an annoying buzz in the cockpit of the car without that ground lift adapter.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You're right.
That's the annoying 40-cycle hum. John, a little over 17 minutes to go, maybe about 14 laps for David Holland. Can he hang on?
He can hang on. It's I think the battle's gonna, Kevin Santana he's trying to make a statement coming up through this field to get on the podium. He's currently sitting in third. Unfortunately, like you said, Faraday had an issue there on those cold tires. But I'm just so impressed with Francisco Montini starting dead last.
Yeah.
And he's in 5th position right now.
5th, and really, I mean, okay, yes, there was a big incident at the start of the race, and he picked up a few spots on that, but he didn't pick up all those spots. Though. This has really been on pace. He has done this on race pace. He's been brutally consistent tonight. Really, really on point. I really wonder why he didn't take a qualifying run, John. Maybe Talladega's strategy. Just thought, you know what, I don't want to be in that mess at the start. Maybe I start at the back and I give myself a chance to fight towards the end of the race.
Now, let's also keep in mind Abner Acosta. He started third. He went back from the first corner, the first lap incident there, went all the way back to 26th position. He's currently in 6th place, and he did that all on pace.
Being reminded that Dega strategy doesn't always work. Armando Edwards right now holding on to 9th place, but it's Kyle Strykars and Charles Sumner right behind him. Lionel DePratt, I see, has come in for his stop finally. But this is one of the few 3-car. I think this is the only 3-car battle we've got on track right now between these 3 drivers, and they've all taken their pit stops, so this is a legitimate battle.
And I'm seeing that Charles, well, he's not carrying the Tropicana colors today.
You know, honestly, I think the Tropicana thing with Charles, I think that's an I think that's an old paint scheme that for some reason is, I think there's a problem with the host of the paints. I'm not going to be specific about it, but anyway, I don't think that Tropicana scheme is actually supposed to be showing up for Charles Sumner on his truck.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he needs to look into trading to a different hosting.
Oh, stop. All right. Let's get out of that. Charles Sumner actually starting to lose out a little bit pace to Strike Cars and Edwards. They seem to be pulling away just a bit. Oh, and Edwards
Abner
really got out wide that time.
Man, what a blistering lap of 1:14.106. That's 7/10 faster than our leader.
Wow, that is that blows away the fastest lap of the race. I mean, it just annihilates it. Wow. I didn't think we'd see anybody go 113 today, John, but maybe? I don't know. Track's up to 101. We haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to what's going on up at the very front between Holland and Delp because, well, we thought Holland was safe, but Delp's starting to rattle off some of those really, really quick laps again here, John. Just 5 laps after the pit stop, he seems to be back up to pace again.
Well, you know what? Hey, shout out to Delp. Even if he comes home second tonight, what a great run by Nicholas. He's had the pace, he's had the speed, a little slower on the pit stop, but you know what a way to execute on a race here tonight.
We probably ought to go to Acosta and Montini. I think this is about to get tricky. Oh boy, that was really, really tricky getting by David Blackwood.
Will they go 5 wide here with Montini?
That was out of Sterling's Bend. He get by Blackwood. And
he's going to the outside of Montini. Then he'll do the crossover here. Watch.
Oh boy. Watch out. Tight
Here's
corner.
The story.
iRacing. How did they not get the wheels together there? Look at Montini. Wow. Determination. Skill.
Oh, he changes his line, which screws up Abner. He had to brake check there.
Yeah, let's replay that real quick, John. See this brake check. Abner, oh man, they did not touch. Obviously, if they had, they'd both been around. Wow, what a pass. Or an attempt at a pass, anyway. And it really, really lost Abner a lot of time. It's almost a second now, John.
It did cost him some time, but I've raced against Abner. Obviously, we televise him every Thursday here as he comes into pit lane. Question is, will he take tires with 11 minutes to go?
Right. The confusing thing here is that Abner has actually already been in the pits. Now, that was because of the incident early in this race, but he peels off and he's in. And John, I don't see anybody going for tires. This is going to be fuel only, and he's out. 3.8 in the box.
Wow. Incredible start. Still, he's in 7th.
Yeah. That's going to be a really, really good result for him after that early trouble. I mean, literally in the opening of the race. Let's go back to 8th place. This is heating up. In fact, Sumner's or Kyle Strikecar's got by Sumner.
Oh, there's a pass for the lead. Sorry, Sean. Delp is going on the outside of and Holland gives it to him.
Okay, this is strategy from Holland. Holland knows he can go back and get him, but you're right, John. Thanks for breaking in. Delp going to get that pass done. Here's the replay. And it's going to make it happen down the straightaway, across the start-finish line. Get to the top of the hill here and do it from the outside, and Holland's going to let him go.
Yeah, Holland's certainly looking at the bigger picture here, and that's the championship title.
Yeah.
Coming home second tonight and letting Delp finish in the the top podium spot is certainly, well, that's just professionalism by David.
Yeah, Delp's proven all night that he's got the speed, deserves a victory here if he can just keep the car together. Holland needs to keep that championship in mind because Abner Acosta, despite trouble early in this race, has done very, very well. Armando Edwards, that battle we were watching back there, gets by Steffi. Strike car's right there, trying to take that spot from Steffi now, too. We got a replay on that. That all took place down, and I think that was down in Surtees is where that all started. Or my bad, I'm sorry, Sterling's Bend, I think is where that started. Here's strike cars. This is coming over the top of the hill after the start-finish line.
Oh, strike cars off into the grass.
Yeah, while we were in the end of that replay, he had just gone off into the grass. That cost him a lot of time. Edwards at the head of this battle. Nick Delp actually started to put a little space between him and Holland. John, it's 0.8 of a second now. Closing on the second.
And by the way, when I said David let him by, I meant let him by going into turn one. Delp has had the speed all night. So let's give credit where credit's due. He's been fast. He's been consistent. He just turned a 14.6 to David's 15 flat.
Yeah.
So 0.4 of a second quicker that last time.
Must be those ugly salmon wheels, John. Worth a couple extra horsepower. No.
Oh, our director just threw one out there, Sean. Swimming upstream he is. Good one. Good one, Joe.
Joe's been crafting those for years now.
Yes,
John.
he has.
I think he sits up all night and thinks about those. You know, this three-way battle is actually still really, really good. I'm waiting for Edwards, and no offense, Armando, I'm waiting for you to make a mistake here because Steffi and Strike cars are having a spirited battle back here. John, all three of these cars started outside the top 20. Or, well, I'm sorry, Armando started 18th, but Steffi and Strike cars both outside the top 20. All three of them find themselves inside the top 10 now. Battling for that 8th place spot with probably about 6 laps to go here at this point.
Man, I'm sorry, Steffi throws it in there hard. He's actually taking a conservative line going into these corners, and he's getting a better run off.
Been good racing here tonight in the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series. And it sees Nick Delp at the top right now with 6 minutes left to go. This is the battle we've been watching for a little bit. Now, I will tell our race fans watching, David Holland starting to close that gap back down a little bit up front. He's got it to about a half a second. And Acosta, you know, we stopped talking about Acosta after the pit stop, but John, he's clean in front and clean behind right now. He's got this 7th place spot if he wants it. I'd say he's 10 seconds from Galaz. That might be a little bit much to pick up, even though he is about a second faster each lap.
Yeah, but we've got 3 battles currently going on the track. Something could happen to, well, elevate Acosta up another position here. Remember, this is the second of the last race. People, you know, we have a tight battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th in points. So
Yeah,
we can
right.
make some heavy leaps here.
Hey, Barnett just had a problem. Something's happened with Barnett. Ty Gore got by him. Kenny Rodriguez got by him.
Is that 2 R's?
I don't know. I got to go to this replay, John. Here it is. Oh, and you know what? Clips the grass coming down the hill there. I think that's the second time we've seen that, if I remember correctly.
I don't know, but I always want to salute that car every time I see it on the
Right?
replay.
You want to stand up and. Yes.
I tell you
All right, back
what,
to-
we've got 4 minutes left, and old Santana, he's turning some blistering laps here, actually catching up to his teammate.
He is, John. I'm starting to wonder, does he, man, this is what, 2.3 seconds? Yeah, David, you might have a little company here.
And the Asphalt King, he can get around his teammate there.
Yeah, Santana's really nailing it right now, John. Every time you reference the fact that he's an asphalt technician, I picture him sticking his finger out the cockpit of the car and like dragging it along the asphalt, bringing it back in and just giving it a real a taste real quick, you know, just to kind of analyze it.
Yukon Cornelius. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Yukon Cornelius. All right, coming around, Nicholas Delp is going to come across the start-finish line. I think with about 3 laps to go, David Holland is still right there, only 0.6 of a second behind him. But it's Kevin Santana we're paying attention to. Santana just does it again.
Oh, sorry, Sean. Jay Steffi just dove it in there on the inside of Edwards. It didn't stick, but he is all over the back of Edwards.
All right, we got a replay of this.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
glad
take a-
you caught it. I missed it. On board with Steffi.
He gets a great run coming out of one. Look at the gap the distance between them two, and he closes it up quickly here, exit of 1.
Wow. Yeah. Good stuff. Steffi still chasing. Oh, Hugo Galaz has had, well, either a connection problem or a... Oh, no, there it is.
Oh,
That was not a connection
he's
problem.
in the wall.
That was a spinning problem.
That's all right. That's the crash for cash. So an extra $5,000 for Hugo there.
We donated to his
Will be-
repair fund on board here. You see the trouble with Galaz. It's just too far over the curb there. That's pretty easy to spot. Fortunately, doesn't get hit. Was that? Yeah, it was Acosta there, right by across his nose.
Well, we talked about that. That puts Abner now currently in 6th, Sean. Oh, and look. Battle for the lead.
There's Acosta going by. We'll go back to the lead after the end of this replay. It's Delp and Holland, and they're catching traffic. It's Jay Steffi. Steffi still racing for that spot in front of him.
Makes it
Careful,
hard for
boys.
Holland.
Careful, boys. He makes it real hard for David Holland.
David loses 10, 15 car lengths on Delp in that one corner.
Yeah, well, we're going to stay here with apologies to the rest of the field. That battle back there for P10. We're going to stay up front. Nick Delp now a second ahead. He's going to take the white flag here at the line with 45 seconds left in this race. Santana's picked up quite a bit. He's on his way.
Boy, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I think that move right there cost David the chance to possibly get up to the lead here.
It might have. It might have. Yep. I don't know if I can blame Steffi so much as, like I said, he was in a fight for that position, but boy, leaders coming through. I don't know, man. That's a tough call to make. Nick Delp now got another car in between him with Armando Edwards. Edwards not necessarily going to get out of the way, going to make it maybe a little tough on Holland to get around. Here comes Holland now. Holland coming down the hill. Going to have that car to the inside to think about? No, he's not. All right, Edwards going to get out of the way. Too much, too late. I think Nick Delp's got this now. If he just plays with the traffic nicely here. Oh no! Delp's off track, John. He's off track. Here comes Holland. Holland's gonna get by. Holland's gonna get by. The traffic comes into play. They're on their way to the final turn.
Delp is charging back. Oh,
Charging
he
back.
back up.
I don't think it's going to be enough. David Holland's going to get to the line first in a miraculous victory. Nick Delp's going to have to settle for second. Kevin Santana, not enough there at the end. He probably got held up by the traffic a little bit too. Verde is going to come home with a P4 tonight. And Francisco Montini starts dead last, John. He gets under the Yokohama Bridge, out of the last turn, down to the straightaway.
Let's take a look at that incident with Delp, Sean.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah, let's do it.
You can see right here, they've got 20 car lengths between them. Last lap, 3 turns left. And Delp just, goes wide, trying to that slower car in front of him.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, it was pretty close when he came back up out of the track. I mean, he almost collected Holland. It certainly didn't mean to, but you know, how much control do you actually have when you're coming back out of the dirt? And here he is, going out into the dirt, back across the grass, and there's Holland. Wow, what an end to this race here on the iRacing Esports Network tonight. One more shot here from up top, Holland taking that victory. And it really winds up being very, very close here at the line. One of the more exciting finishes we've had all season, John, here in the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series. But we're going to take a quick break here from the iRacing Esports Network. We'll be right back here with the result.
Oh, give me my beanie.
And a few of the drivers to talk to. We'll see you in a moment.
40 of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
And we're back here on the iRacing Esports Network. We just finished watching the Precision Racing League Formula 3 series here on Thursday night. And now let's go to the results of your race. David Holland, on the last lap, manages to get by Nick Delp after, I think Nick got spooked a little bit. Maybe we'll get a chance to ask him. In fact, I think we will. I see him there in our interview booth. So Nick finishes second. Kevin Santana with a third place finish tonight. A hell of a run by Santana tonight. Stephen Faraday, fourth place finish, and the race of the night, John's got to go to Francisco Montini and what he did tonight. Abner Acosta will wind up finishing sixth this evening, and is going to keep this points battle close at the front. Jay Steffi will be the first car a lap down. Armando Edwards, those two battled at the end. Hugo Galaz will finish ninth, and Kyle Strikars comes home in 10th.
Charles Sumner, Mr. Floridian, comes home in 11th. Kenny Rodriguez in 12th. Tyler Gore in the Baker's Dozen, 13th position. Daniel Barnett, 14th. Lionel Duprat coming home 15th. Donald Olson, 16th. David Blackwood, 17th. And 18th, Brett Thurman. Christopher Richards coming home 19th. And rounding out the top 20, Owen McLaughlin.
All right, John, then we'll get the rest of the field here. Lyndon Swaby, peg leg tonight. It just wasn't in the cards for him tonight. 21st, Matthew Hall. 22nd, Aaron Webb. 23rd. A lot of these guys caught up in an incident early, John. Anthony Pisano, 24th for him. 25th for the Samurai tonight. Daniel Zegers, 26th. Sean Duhamel, unfortunately involved in that early, 27th. And Raymond Day, John, the very fast Raymond Day. Wow. He finishes dead last in this race. But, here's who didn't finish dead last. Let's talk to David Holland. David, I'm guessing no NyQuil this week. Feeling better. Talk to us about what happened on that last lap. What did you see happening in front of you there, man?
Hey, guys. I'll tell you what. I'm still scratching my head a little bit. I actually still have a little bit of it lingering around. I got a cough drop in right now. But, Nick was, man, he was flying tonight. He pulled up to me so quick. I was going to try and fight him a little bit, but ultimately tonight was all about survival. So he came up quick. I let him by, and I was able to keep up with him. He ultimately had more pace than me, though. It's just got real dicey there with the lap cars coming there in the last few laps, and it looks like something bit him there.
Well, David, I'm sorry to hear you're still carrying around this bug. It sounds like you're on the back end of it, though. I don't have a tracker going, so I'm sorry. I certainly will be following the points right down to the final flag next week. But I don't think you've wrapped this thing up yet. In fact, Acosta is going to get salvage a really nice run tonight. It's going to keep this points championship, I think, still at stake for you.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. I'll probably go do some number crunching after this. It's close, but we might still have to keep it together there in the last race to seal this thing up.
Well, one to go, and it's in Canada.
A.
Yeah, David, what do you think about Montreal?
It took me a while to warm up to it last season, but ultimately I really ended up enjoying it quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how it handles with the new tires on that track, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's got a bit of a reputation for carnage too, though, so I'm sure survival will be name of the game there.
Yeah, and good on you for a great qualifying effort tonight, because there was certainly some carnage behind you on that opening lap.
Yeah, I was really fortunate to see. I'm not sure what happened. I'm go back and check the replay, but man, I looked at my rear view and it was just chaos.
Well, no chaos now. Go rest, take care, and we will see you next week in Canada, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Got to thank PRL for organizing, Ninja Trader for sponsoring, you guys, GSRC for broadcasting, and the entire Vantage Esports team. And then, again, my dad was in there spotting for me, so I got to thank my father. He's having a lot of fun with it. And, thanks, guys.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, too. So good on him. Thanks, David. We'll see you next week. Now, John, we'll get to talk to our second-place finisher, Nick Delp.
Boy, Nicholas Delp starting 6th position tonight, in the lead with 1 lap to go, coming home second. Nicholas, you've got to be beating yourself up right now. Talk to us, sir.
John and Sean, like that late great Dusty Rhodes once said, I was living on the edge of a lightning bolt there, Daddy.
That's great. Anytime we get a Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream reference, that rocks, dude. Thank you, Nick.
Nicholas, look, you had an incredible pace tonight. Obviously, you were marred on that first lap, first corner incident, with David out front about 4 or 5 seconds. You tracked him down. Tell us about the speed. Tell us about your enjoyment of this track, if you will, outside of the last lap. Is this one of your favorite tracks?
After tonight, it is. But yeah, I just squeezed right between that incident. So that was definitely some good luck there. But yeah, I just kind of got into my groove, and I saw that I was keeping steady there for the first couple laps, and then all of a sudden I was getting a couple tenths. So I felt comfortable. Car felt good. The only problem is once I kind of sucked up behind David there, the dirty air was definitely a factor in like the kink corners and that flat out right-hander. So that kind of got a little tricky right there.
Yeah, you seem to be, throughout the race, throughout the run, you seem to be extremely strong. Well, in the corner that you actually messed up on the last lap, you seem to make up really good time there through that sector.
Yeah, I was actually taking a lot of curb through there, and man, it just kills me though at the end because once fair play to David too, because he gave me a lot of room on that overtake for the lead. But then he really hung in there. I mean, I thought I was going to gap him because I made up that 4 seconds, but he was really just sticking within, 5 tenths, 6 tenths. Then I got it up to about maybe a second. And then, yeah, there's a lot of traffic those last 2 laps. And unfortunately, I wasn't sure if he was going to give me that corner or not. And I hesitated, and you see the result of that.
Well, still, incredible run by you. You certainly had the pace to make up those 4 seconds, that deficit, and to take over the lead and lead there at the end. What a great testament to you driving this track as well as the setup underneath you. So congratulations on coming home second. Anybody you'd like to thank, Nicholas?
I'd just like to thank you guys and definitely Charles and Hoot and my teammates. We definitely spent some time before the race, and I think definitely their support helped me through the race. And thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Thanks to our sponsor, and yeah, the Sim Champagne tastes not quite as sweet as it should right now.
All right, Nick, is that what color those wheels are? Are they champagne? What color are the wheels? What's up with that color? It's salmon? Is it champagne? What is that?
I was going for pumpkin orange there.
John, you were all over that. I lose the bet.
Trick or treat, man.
Yeah, I lose the bet. And hey, listen, I want all the fans to know, old Nick Delp, he knows hard times. Okay, he knows hard times. He's out here tonight. He faced some hard times, and he overcame it. So there you go. There's my Dusty Rhodes call back for you there, Nick. We'll see you next week, buddy.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
You bet. Sean, that's our second place finisher. You caught up with Kevin Santana?
I have. I've caught up with Kevin Santana. He caught up with the field there at the end of the race. Kevin, you found a lot of speed there late. You were just shy of one of the fastest laps of the race. At one point, you were one of the fastest laps of the race. What were you doing back there, man?
I got caught up in that first lap schmozzle. Caught a little damage on the front wing, so the whole first stint was pretty much shot.
Schmozzle.
Schmozzle. Yes.
I can't remember the rest of it.
Yes. Yeah. Our director all over it, John, Laverne, and Shirley. See, we've got Dusty Rhodes, Laverne, and Shirley. We're all over the place tonight. Kevin, it was really a great race. Talk to us about what happened at the start of the race, because you're the only one that really we've gotten to talk to that was actually wrapped up into that. What happened there? What did you see?
Somehow Ray and Abner got together and spun I just ended up collecting one of them. I don't remember which one now. Like I said, got a little front wing.
Well, and so how did the car handle with the wing damage on it once you got back up to speed there, or tried to get up to speed?
Not as good at till after I got a new wing.
So you struggled. You just kind of hung in there for as long as you could, and then got back on it. But a podium finish, really, really good stuff for you tonight, man. Heading into the last race in Montreal, I'd say it's been a pretty good season for you. You got to be pretty happy with it so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I've had a few mess ups on my end, driving wise, and a couple hardware issues.
Well, hopefully you've gotten past the hardware issues at this point. Next week, maybe you'll get another step up the podium. Who knows? Maybe even a big win there in Canada. We'll see. But congratulations. Anybody you'd like to thank, Kevin?
As always, the guys that put this on week in, week out, and deal with us driving.
Well, you're a good lot of drivers, Kevin, and we enjoy talking to you. We'll talk to you soon. That's Kevin Santana, and he was our third place finisher tonight. John, it was a great race here tonight at Brands Hatch, but now we look forward to Montreal, which, yes, as was stated by David Holland, that can bring a little bit of treachery itself.
Yeah, it's going to be another good race, and obviously it'll be the last race. So we'll see what happens between Holland and Acosta there for the top position.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here, put a pretty bow on it now. First, we want to thank Ninja Trader. Of course, they are the title sponsor of the series this season, and who knows, maybe we'll get them back for next season. We'd sure love to have them. The iRacing Esports Network, who lets us come on over here and display our wares for you all here on the interwebs. And, well, we need to thank the companies that provide the software and hardware that you see on a GSRC broadcast. We put them here on the screen for you so you know who they are. And the person down there, well, June Lalonde, that's the one who does all of the music you hear on the network, the Global Sim Racing Channel music anyway. We'd like you to see the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work if you would like to contact about using some of that music. Now, there is the team that put this together today. Joe behind the scenes doing the producing and the directing for us and doing a magnificent and an occasional bad dad joke along the way. John Ambrose the third, J3 we call him, or Johnny, beside me here in the booth. And of course, the wizard, the magical one, Dougie Beard, who puts all these camera sets together for us. We can't thank him enough. And of course, if you'd like to find out more about us, the Global Sim Racing Channel, including upcoming races, well, go to our website and use that as reference, globalsimracingchannel.com, or just follow us on social media. It's so much easier. And we're going to be giving something away for the holidays here really soon, so you definitely want to be tapped into social. Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook. Just type in Global Sim Racing Channel. You'll find us there. Oh, my beanie now! Yes. And, of course, Instagram. That's GSRC_Graham. And the next race is, of course, the final race of the season at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada, Thursday, November 21st, 1 week before Thanksgiving, 9 p.m. Eastern. Look at the screen for the rest of the upcoming races coming at you here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.